You want to get better, you don't want to become bitter. Well, this just got really awkward really quick. Hey guys, my name is Gabrielle Moses. Today we're talking about how to get over a breakup / like how to cope with a breakup, because I'm going through that right now. So I thought, what's better than talking about it and sharing some tips with you guys that I've found to be really helpful, because I've gotten a ton of DMs asking like, hey, I know you're going through a really big breakup, you were with this person for a really long time, like I was also in the same boat, like what are you doing to get help? I've also had friends come to me, so we're gonna just talk about that. Because here's the thing, you want to get better, you don't want to become bitter towards that person or towards the whole situation. And these tips are hopefully going to be able to help you cope with everything that you are going through. So first thing, you don't want to be obsessing over your ex. You don't want to be calling them nonstop or texting them, stalking their social media, their location on Snapchat, whatever. You want to give them space, because mentally you're not going to be able to handle it if you're constantly looking for what they're doing or who they're hanging out with. Because I guarantee you, if you find out that they're hanging out with another girl or another guy, you're just gonna feel really bad. Or if you find out that they're hanging out with 3 or 4 different guys, it's not gonna feel good. Trust me. You'd rather not know. And you also don't want to be like bitter towards their friends. Like you don't want to be mad that your mutual friends are hanging out with them still or anything like that. You want to give them space because you need time to heal. And if you're constantly looking at what they're doing, constantly checking up on them, it's not going to be good for your mental health, because you're going to be worrying about another person instead of worrying about yourself. And you also don't want to be that psycho ex that's always texting that person that you just broke up with, because I guarantee you, the more you text them, the more you call them, the more you comment on their social media posts, it's not gonna help you or them. They're not gonna want you back if you're like not giving them space to breathe, because there's probably a reason that you guys broke up. And if you're not giving them that space for them to figure it out, or for them to figure out that they need to better themselves, it's not gonna happen. You also don't want to try and fill the void that that person left in you. You want to feel it instead. It is okay to cry. It is okay to grieve that relationship, because it is normal to do that. If you were invested in a relationship and all of a sudden it's over, you're going to feel so many emotions, and it's going to be really hard at times. But don't just sweep those feelings underneath like the rug, because then it's just going to build up and build up and build up, and eventually that balloon's going to pop. And it's gonna be okay if you cry a few days. It's gonna be okay if you cry a few months. It's okay if you lay in your bed sad as ever, because that's normal. It's normal to feel sad. It's normal to feel pain, because you're grieving a relationship that was once there. I can tell you, I cried for so many days. I still cry, and that's normal. You can't just pretend like everything's okay all the time, because if you do that, then you're not feeling your emotions, you're ignoring them, and it's not good to ignore those emotions. And during this time, it's so important to lean on family members. It's important to have your friends around, and it's important to have those relationships that are going to push you to be okay or to better yourself, because you need people around you. It's not good to constantly be alone. I'm not saying grieve and be alone and push everyone else away. No, don't do that, because that is extremely, extremely unhealthy. Instead, lean on your friends. They want to be here for you. Don't be mean to them. Don't be rude to them. Don't push them away, because then you're going to be alone at the end of the day. You're not going to have a shoulder to cry on, and that's when it's going to suck the absolute most. Honestly, I don't know where I would be without my friends right now. The amount of times they just sat with me while I cried, the amount of times they brought me ice cream, the amount of times they have literally brought me Kleenexes to my room because they just heard me sniffling or whatever. It happened a lot. I'm not gonna lie. It did happen, but it would be 10 times harder if I didn't have those people in my life to just be with me. It's not like they had to say something to me. It was just knowing that I had friends that were there for me, or I had my mom who was there for me, or my sisters. It just meant a lot to have people around me. And you also have to realize this isn't gonna go away after a week or 2 weeks. Like the sadness or this grief of like mourning this relationship, it's not gonna go away overnight. If you really love that person, it's gonna stick around for months, who knows, maybe it'll take years for you to get over that relationship or finally be okay enough with yourself to be in another relationship. It's not like you're just gonna be able to find someone the next week or the next month. And you just have to realize that, because as soon as you realize that, you start to become a little bit more okay with yourself. But if you think like, oh, I'm gonna be fine in a week or 2 weeks, you're just gonna disappoint yourself, because that's not how it is. Guys, come on. It's things just don't get better overnight. It's like your grades, they just get worse sometimes. Sometimes they get better, but that was a really bad point to make. But for real, it's gonna be okay, and you have to realize that it will be okay, but it is going to take lots of time. It's gonna take lots of tears. It's gonna take lots of like random adventures with your best friends. You just have to accept that. But you also don't want to feel that void with people. You don't want to fill that void with things that are not the best for you. Like, you don't want to just go find another person to fill that void, like for 1 night or 2 nights. No, stay away from that. Instead, you need to focus on yourself. I've personally been trying to focus on myself just by treating myself right. I've been getting my nails done. I never get my nails done. I got my hair done. Like, yeah, I know that's like the most cliche thing ever. You break up, new hair. But honestly, it made me just feel more in control of myself. I've been reading poetry. That sounds crazy, but if you ever need a really good poetry book, hold up, let me grab it. I put this one on my Instagram story the other day, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, Gabrielle, what book is that? And this is the book. I'll link it down below. It's called The Nectar of Pain. Absolutely amazing. I literally started crying on the first poem, so if you need a good cry, that's your book. But I also just started working out a ton. I made myself busy, but I made myself productive, not just busy. Like, as you guys know, I've been working out tons. I made my own workout routines. I kept my mind busy. If you guys do want to check out those workout routines, this will be linked down below, because working out just makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I am in control of myself. Like, I have the power to do something good. I have the power to help other people. So I've been focusing on those types of things, not only myself, you know? And another thing is, it's really helpful to look back and reflect on the relationship. Like, you can think, what did I do wrong? It's important to know what you did wrong in the relationship, because odds are it wasn't just a one-side thing. It could have been like multiple things, but you could think, could I have saved this relationship if I would have changed, or would I have just prolonged the pain or prolonged the toxicity of the relationship or something like that? But you also have to think, was there more good or bad in the relationship? Because odds are the relationship did end for a reason. And it also helps whenever you look back on your relationship so that you don't make the same mistakes over and over and over again, because a lot of times people do tend to do that. They make the same mistakes again and again and again. So if you just kind of look back on it and you're like, what can I do differently next time? Or what can I do differently to help my relationships with the people around me? But you also have to think, how am I a better person because of that relationship? You don't want to just think of all the bad things, because I promise you, it wasn't all bad. There's probably a lot of good things that came out of it. You're probably a different person because of that relationship. You probably grew a lot in that relationship too. I know I did. I know I became a lot more outgoing. I was so shy. I would not go up to people and talk. I was incredibly insecure with myself. I hated so many things about myself. I mean, I still do sometimes, but I found a lot of confidence because of my past relationship. So it is really important to think about the good as well. And geez, this one's kind of weird to talk about, but put away gifts that your ex gave to you, or put away pictures of you guys, put away those love notes, put away things that might cause you to miss them, because you don't want to be staring at that. You don't want to accidentally put on this shirt that they gave you and then you have this flashback and just tears and emotions just come over you and you just want to text them. No, so put that stuff away. Maybe put it in a box to save for a rainy day or something like that, because you don't need that constant reminder, because it's just going to keep you sad. It's going to keep you alone. It's going to keep you stuck in your room. So put that stuff away. And I know it might be the hardest thing ever, putting that stuff away in a box. I know I had a day where I just did that and I cried a lot while I was doing that, because it hurts, because it's like you're packing some part of you up and putting it away. But it does need to happen, because or else you will be always reminded of that person. And sometimes you need to just be reminded of yourself. And sometimes you just have to remember that you are important and you are worth being okay. If that didn't make sense, but it's gonna be okay, and you have to realize that you don't deserve to be sad all the time. And so by putting everything away in that box, you're just kind of saying, you got this, eventually you will move on, but for right now you might not. So you just might need to put that stuff away so that you don't have that constant reminder. Jeez. Ooh. Jeez. Okay, this next point is something that I feel like everyone has an extremely hard time doing, because it's something that comes with time. It's not going to happen overnight, but that's going to be just forgiving your ex for something that may have caused the relationship to end, or forgiving them just for whatever, for maybe they didn't treat you the best, maybe they could have done better, who knows what they could have done, but it's important to forgive them. And I'm not saying you have to do that the day after you break up with them. No, it's not gonna happen. But over time, you need to forgive them for whatever they may have done, because you're not gonna be okay or ready to move on until you have been able to forgive them. Because or else you're gonna constantly think like, oh, I hate them because of this, or I hate them because of that. And like I said, this is all about getting better, but not becoming bitter. You don't want to hate them. You don't want to have a grudge over them. It's so important not to hate other people because you were once in love with them. There's gonna be many relationships that you have. If you're lucky, maybe you'll just have one. I thought I was just gonna have one, but here we are today. But you can't hate them. You really can't, because or else you're gonna see them in life. Like, odds are you live in a small town, you probably don't live in a huge city, you probably don't have a long distance relationship, you're probably gonna run into that person again. You're probably gonna have mutual friends. It's not worth hating them. It's not worth having a grudge held over them. So you may as well forgive. Don't forget though. Remember the good times, remember the bad times, but you need to forgive in order to move on. So I think that's the biggest one of all these tips and pointers about a relationship. But with that is the last one that I had for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. It's kind of weird to talk about breakup tips because I'm not used to being single. I may have done advice videos for years since I was in high school, but I was always in a relationship then, so maybe you guys need to give me some pointers now. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget, if you do subscribe, turn on video notifications, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. All those ads will be down below. You can be entered into winning either 2 sets of AirPods or also a $500 gift surprise box with some of my favorite products in it. That's gonna be ending soon though, so be sure to do that. And if you guys do want 5 extra entries, all you have to do is check out my workout guide and send me your order confirmation. And yeah, you can get 5 extra entries, which really helps. And also, you'll get fit doing something. I'm also going to be coming out with some more workouts as well. I upload new workout programs every single week on that workout routine thing that's down below. You guys will see it. I hope you guys are doing okay. I hope you have a smile on your face. And I hope this video helped you. Let me know what types of videos you do want to see next. Comment that down below. But I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.